There's a saying, it's not what you look at that matters, it's what you see. And from the outside looking in, you probably haven't seen much. Perhaps you've only heard of the cornfields and corn heads. Those are here, and here to stay. But look closer, and you'll discover where corn meets road is a group of people who make this place called Lincoln awesome. Here, strangers are welcomed as friends, and travelers are treated as locals. A place that when you leave is somehow unexpectedly on your mind. Like other growing cities, we've got it all. Award-winning local breweries, captivating museums, curated fine art, innovative cuisine, charming shops and boutiques, a rich tradition of sports, and a diverse selection of entertainment. Experience is what matters. And community, well, that's our pride and joy. It's why 297,622 people, and counting, call it home. So when you come to Lincoln and discover everything this big little town in the Midwest has to offer, remember, with every interaction, moment, and experience you have, don't just look. See.
Hello and welcome to Out and About. I'm Diane Gonzalez. On this show, we are delighted to welcome for the first time Tim Savona, the new general manager at Pinnacle Bank Arena and Pinewood Bowl. Now, he's been on the job since mid-February, but he's been so busy that we have not had the opportunity to book him yet for Out and About. That changes today. Tim, welcome to the community and to our show.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
What have you experienced so far, just in your, not only in your job, but in the community at large?
Oh, quite a bit. Work's been very busy. We've had a lot of events. I started in mid-February, as you mentioned, so we had the end of the UNL basketball season for the men and women, carried a little late in hosting some NIT games for the women, which was a lot of fun. State tournaments, busy time of year for us, so spent a lot of time at work. I did live downtown for a few weeks in a hotel as I was transitioning, and got to really feel in the Haymarket and the rail yard. It was lovely. That
sounds like fun, but it only lasts for so long.
Yeah, it gets tired. I mean, you start to recognize that you can't keep up anymore with those late nights and eating out all the time. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, but it was nice to get home and have a home cooked meal too.
And I'm sure that you really missed your family until they moved here just recently.
Yeah, we moved in about 2 weeks ago, which was really exciting. Fortunately, the move wasn't terribly far. So we got to see each other a lot on the weekends. I have 2 young children in first grade and pre-K, I guess you say. So yeah, it was tough, but it's nice. It's all over now.
Oh yeah. Well, the fun is just beginning.
Yes.
As you know, you've had 20 years of experience in the industry. Tell me about your background.
Well, I've been around quite a bit, moving around quite a bit, but I always like to point out it's been with pretty much the same company the whole time. I started in minor league baseball. I worked in minor league baseball for about 5 years. Did that in 3 different markets, in Florida, South Carolina, and Texas. Great experience. Learned a lot of various aspects of the business. Ticketing, operations,
concessions,
merchandise, you name it. So that was a lot of fun. And then I got into this business, which was Arena Private Management, which is super great. I started in Des Moines, Iowa, and with that company, I was in Des Moines. Then I moved off to Colorado, Boise, Idaho, most recently Sioux City, and now here. I like to say that's what put me through kind of like the trials and tribulations of learning the game and learning the industry. Every market is very different, and every piece of the business teaches you different things. So I've been very fortunate to work with a lot of great people and learned kind of along the way in those environments. And now I'm here, and I'm really excited to be here. And we have an amazing team of people here. Very, very grateful for what I'm walking into, and expect to be here for a long time.
What do you think of the facilities themselves?
First class. I mean, 10 years old, which is essentially new in our world. You don't build a new arena every year, every couple of years. So 10 years old, it was done right, it was done well. a lot of things backstage that make life easy on shows when they come into town, and that's not unnoticed. And the acoustics are great too. You know, that's often an easy piece to miss or to get wrong. But our venue got it right, and the shows notice, and they like that. They like coming here, and that's a real thing. It's not hyperbole. It's a real thing. So we're grateful for that.
And the improvements at Pinewood Bowl have just really made that place even more special, not just for the audience, but for the artists.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, kudos to all involved who have really made that happen. I mean, most recently we've done the Spotlight Towers that have been redone, but slowly but surely over the last 10, 12 years, just chipping away at modernizing that space and making it more user-friendly for both the artists and the guests, patrons who come. Really is a good space, beautiful space, well-known, well-liked, boutique. You know, we get a lot of shows out there that we don't have any business putting out there. And the reason they do that is because of what it provides and that they like it. So.
It's definitely a very special environment out there, especially when the sun's setting. Occasionally we get those planes flying over, but that becomes part of the show.
Yeah, we'll work on the air traffic control this year to improve. Right. And the weather. We got to make sure the weather stays right.
Now, before the show, we chatted a little bit. I asked you about Tom Lorenz, who was the first and only general manager until you said you knew him through emails and phone calls mainly. How great is it that the Pinewood Bowl box office is going to be named for Tom?
Oh, I think it's a phenomenal gesture. I mean, Tom's well known in the business. He's certainly well known in the community. You know, I mean, a lot of people are involved, but you can really point everything back to Tom as a guy that really had vision for, you know, Pinnacle Bank Arena, but also Pinewood Bowl. I mean, that was his baby. And I've heard some funny stories about how he wanted to do that and how long it took to get a liquor license out there and how they would try to do shows and it never got off the ground as much, and how they do it without selling. I mean, the guy just had vision, passion. He knew how to rally some troops, and what a great gesture.
Also very patient in all the time it took us to get the concerts at Pinewood Bowl going. So
more power to him.
Yeah, I was in the mayor's office for all of that. So yeah, it was a bit of a struggle, but wow, it's just turned an unused venue out there at Pinewood into one of the premier outdoor theaters. It's great.
Yeah, and you know, we're pretty much doing 10 to 12 shows a summer now, so I don't see that slowing down. This year's no stoppage there.
Well, Tom kind of built the place, and now you are here. And what are some of your goals moving forward for both of those venues?
Sure. Well, you know, I have it easy compared to Tom. I mean, he built it, and then he built the team. We have a great team of people, so I guess my main job is to keep the train on the tracks. So fortunate position to be in, but you know, just continue the vision, continue to grow. You know, if you look at Pinewood, you know, the roof is a big piece that probably needs addressed next, and you just keep chipping away, you know, slowly but surely. There's time, there's restraints, there's money, everything comes into play. But over time, we'll just slowly chip away, work with the city, work with the Parks and Rec Department, who are just phenomenal partners, you know, very supportive of what we do. And we'll keep growing, you know, listen to the people, evolve with the musical trends and the musical tastes. This year's lineup offers a lot of variety, and you know, keep it going forward.
Now, I warned you I was going to ask you this question about your favorite act. Caveat, this does not mean he can bring this act to Lincoln.
Yeah.
But if you could see anybody at one of those venues, who would it be?
Well, my favorite band is Pearl Jam.
Great.
I also grew up a big fan of Aerosmith. Aerosmith just announced in Omaha, so we missed out on that one. But those are probably my favorite bands. I have been fortunate enough to see them. My favorite show that I've hosted and been a part of is probably the Foo Fighters. You know, their energy on stage and just their demeanor of who they are is exactly like what you see. They're a bunch of big kids that screw around a lot behind the scenes and just love what they do. And that energy really comes out on stage. So that's probably my favorite, you know, event that I've been a part of is Foo Fighters. But my favorite musical acts would be, you know, Aerosmith and Pearl Jam are the two. A little bit of difference there, but.
Does that go back to your growing up?
I think so, yeah. I think so. I don't know why. It just.
When you were talking about your career and how you've moved around a lot, where was home base? Where did you grow up?
I'm originally from Columbus, Ohio. So I grew up in Columbus, Ohio, went to college in Ohio, and then what happened is I started in baseball. I had to do an internship for college. And so what better way to do an internship than to run away from Ohio in the wintertime and be in Florida. So that's kind of how I jumped in and got started, and then it just kind of caught on from there. And here I am, 20 years later.
Do you plan to catch some Salt Dogs games with your family?
I do, yeah. My kids are into whatever, so we try to go to everything. Hockey, baseball, you name it, we'll be there.
What are some of your favorite things to do when, in those rare hours when you're not working?
I like to play golf. Love to play golf. That's probably what I do the most. My son is 7, and he loves to golf. I think he got into it with me. We just would do it a lot, and now we pretty much, tomorrow we're planning to go out, for 18 holes together. So that's a really neat thing to be able to experience with my kids. Outside of that, it's kid stuff. They're at an age where they're getting into everything. So whatever season it is, we try to put them in. My daughter's doing gymnastics and dance and soccer and basketball, and my son will do baseball and football and golf, basketball, you name it. So
that time for a
keeps you busy.
parent goes fast, so you
I've
have
heard
to
that, yeah.
savor every moment. Before you
Yes.
know it, they'll be graduating, and it's a special time with young kids. A lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Do you still have family back in Ohio?
I do, yeah. My parents, my sister, they're both in Cleveland, Ohio now. I have another sister in Indianapolis, and then all my extended families scattered throughout Ohio.
Well, tell them to come here and have some fun in Lincoln with you.
Yeah, this is a great community.
Yeah.
And I am rooting for the Huskers. I got to say it. You can't work at this space and not be a Husker fan. So.
Well, as people know about me, I'm a crazy Kansas State Wildcat. So, But yes, Huskers, Salt Dogs, Nebraska Wesleyan, the Prairie Wolves, the who am I missing? The Stars. Yeah, lots of sports, lots of fun sports to watch in town.
A lot to get into.
All right. Well, we are going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about some of the great events coming up at Pinnacle Bank Arena and Pinewood Bowl. So stay with us. Welcome back to Out and About, and we are continuing our first conversation ever with the new general manager at Pinnacle Bank and Pinewood Bowl, Tim Savona. Tim, you ready to talk about some of the fun stuff coming up?
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready.
Well, we're going to talk about a couple of new and different things coming up. First of all, the latest announcement so far, again, we're taping this in early May. The latest announcement is Disney on Ice is going to come back. That's always exciting.
Yes, I think it's the first time since pre-COVID days.
Wow.
So you're looking at 4 or 5 years there. Very exciting.
Right. And
Very
then
exciting.
also the Morgan Wallen concert that was going to be in April, that has now been rescheduled for September.
September 9th. Yep, we had to reschedule that date. Morgan was on doctor's ordered vocal rest. So had to postpone like 4 or 5 shows, and we just happened to fall in that window. But we're grateful that we have a date, September 9th, and we'll have to wait a little longer, but that's okay. It's a big show.
When you reschedule a show like that, is it difficult in terms of tickets, in terms of people who could go in April, but now they can't go in September?
Yeah, it's never easy. I mean, people make those plans. Typically, if it's enough notice and enough distance out, they can adjust accordingly, but you never know. I mean, people might have weddings to attend, or maybe their own wedding for that matter. And so yeah, sometimes there's a lot of back and forth at the onset, refunds, exchanges, what have you. It's all part of it. It's unfortunate, but everybody will get taken care of in one way or another. And if they can't make it, they get their money back. And
well, there you go.
If they can, they just have to wait a little longer.
So I'll tell you, my favorite act is Elton John.
Oh yeah.
And he was scheduled to come right before COVID hit.
I bet it was like right when COVID.
We had to wait a few years on that one, but it was worth it.
I bet. Legend.
Well, let's talk about some of the other upcoming shows. We're going to have a couple of great country artists coming. May 13th is Kenny Chesney with Kelsey Ballerina.
Yeah, Kenny Chesney's coming May 13th. Shania's the following week, May 19th. But this has been a good week. We not only announced Disney on Ice, but Old Dominion is going to come in December. They just announced this week and went on sale May 5th. So that's really exciting. And then just today on May 5th, we announced the Turnpike Troubadours with the Avett Brothers. They're coming together, one show to PBA August 24th. So it's been a really big week of announcements. That's 3 shows: Old Dominion, Disney on Ice, and Turnpike Troubadours with Avett Brothers. So
wow,
not slowing down at all. And then here we go, rolling right into, as you mentioned, Chesney and Shania. So Very exciting.
You mentioned Old Dominion is December, and the other show was
August.
August, and that was,
Turnpike Troubadours with the Avett Brothers.
oh,
It'll be a big one.
yeah.
Both of them will be.
I'm writing those down because they weren't on your website yet. They're so new.
They're so new. Yes, brand new.
All right. June 25th, then we've got some comedy coming back to the arena with Bert Kreischer. Bert the Machine
Yep.
Kreischer. Tell me about him. Have you ever seen him before?
I have. He's phenomenal. The movie Van Wilder is loosely based on Bert Kreischer's life. Believe it or not. Went to Florida State, and that movie's basically based after Bert. Bert performs with his shirt off. He's known for that. He performs shirtless. He's hilarious, and he's been really, really popular these last 2 years. So.
Well, that'll be fun. That's coming up June 25th at the arena. Then NF with Corday is coming. NF is Nate Firestein. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, I believe so. Nate's,
Michigan native.
Michigan native, rapper, very popular. That show's selling very well. To be honest, it's selling a lot better than I thought it would, which is always a nice, pleasant surprise. To be out in July and to be where we're at right now, that'll be a big day, a lot of fun. He has some great music, and he's just kind of a homegrown story. He kind of grew up from, from the mainstream.
And then you mentioned Turnpike Troubadours with the Avett Brothers is August
24th.
24th.
Yeah, like we
All
don't
right.
have enough in August. I think we have 10 or 11 shows now in August between the two facilities. So.
It's going to be a busy month.
Yeah, we'll be keeping ourselves busy. We'll roll right into Zach Bryan after that. Zach Bryan is huge right now. I mean, that show sold out in a day.
Wow.
Huge artist, but neat thing about Zach Bryan is that show is 10 years to the day of the ribbon cutting of Pinnacle Bank Arena.
That's amazing.
So very cool celebration to have an artist like that, to the day. Pretty neat.
I remember that day. It was extremely hot.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Couldn't wait to go inside and into the cool
Yeah.
air.
Good thing the AC worked on the new venue.
Yes, it
Yeah.
worked very well that day. And then Old Dominion in December.
Yep.
What's the date on that one?
December 9th.
Okay.
Yeah, December 9th.
Okay. And Old Dominion, tell us a little bit about them again.
Country Act, really popular, has won a lot of awards, a lot of ACM awards and things of that sort. Kind of come from the same kind of background or camp as like Chesney. Very well known, been working their way through the system for a while, and this is their time. They're playing big venues now. They're going to be
All
great.
right. Well, thanks for making some news here with those
Yeah.
2 new shows. So
Excited to do
actually
it.
3 new shows. So lots going on at PBA. Let's move on to Pinewood Bowl. At my count, there's been 11 shows so far.
That's right. We're at 11. I don't know if we're going to have any more now. We have 1 or 2 kind of maybe. I don't know.
Do you know what the most ever was?
I think like 14. It might have been
Yeah.
last year. I think it was 14
could
last
be.
year. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
This
is a
year
lot.
we don't have a good spread, and just it happens. It's it's the nature of the routing. You don't get to
Right.
predict where everything lands. But yeah, this year's a little bit goofy. We have 2 in May, none in June, 1 at the very end of July, and then 8 or 9 in August.
Well, let's run through the schedule. May 12th, Pinewood opens with Chicago, which
Yep.
is legendary. That's about all I can say.
Chicago the band, can't go wrong. They are legends indeed, and people are buying tickets. It'll be a lot of fun that night, and it's a Friday night. Come out, have fun, and the very next day we'll do Chesney in the arena. So, no rest for the weary.
And then shortly after that, Tracy Lawrence and Gary Allen back at Pinewood.
Yep, another very popular show. Gary Allen's been here before. I think Tracy Lawrence has as well, but this is just dynamic duo. Everybody knows their music. Be a beautiful Thursday night at Pinewood Bowl.
Now the Tedeschi Trucks Band is coming.
That's July 25th.
July
Yep,
25th.
right after the play wraps up.
Okay.
We'll sneak in there with Tedeschi Trucks. Just great jam band, just Americana roots rock musicians. So.
And then you did mention the play from July 13th through the 23rd. The annual Pinewood Bowl musical is being produced. Catch Me If You Can is the show this month. I
Great
hope
title
you,
this year.
or this year, I hope you get out there to see it. They're really fun.
Yeah, I'm excited to. I've gotten to meet a few of the people involved with the play, and certainly I love the story of Catch Me If You Can. I love the movie. So. Look
All
forward
right.
to getting out there.
Then Tedeschi Trucks, July 25th. And then right after that is Big August, starting with
August.
Train with Better Than Ezra on August 4th.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows Train, Little Drops of Jupiter, right? Very popular band, been around a long time. Just fortunate to have them. And the very next night we'll have Steve Miller Band. So
Oh, wow.
Friday with Train, Saturday with Steve Miller Band.
I am so disappointed. I'm going to be out of town that weekend, August 5th. And I love the Steve Miller Band.
Is that song Jungle Love? Is that right?
So many good
Yeah,
ones.
so many good ones.
Very. August 11th then is a big show with 4 major acts.
Yeah, Trombone Shorty, Ziggy Marley, Mavis Staples, and Robert Randolph. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. A little bit of variety in there too. You know, Mavis Staples I think opened last year for Bonnie Raitt. Ziggy Marley, you know, great vibe music. Trombone Shorty from New Orleans, just good variety of artists in that lineup.
Big August continues then on the 14th with Blues Traveler and Big Head Todd and the Monsters. I did not know they were still around.
Oh yeah, I actually had Big Head Todd and the Monsters in a theater not too long ago,
Yeah.
and they sound fabulous. They're really good. That's a lot of fun. That show. This is music everybody knows. You know, it's just music that you know all the songs and enjoy a night out under the stars. And Pinewood Bowl is such a perfect venue for these guys. And the show right after that, The Head and the Heart, August 18th with Father John Misty. It's just easy listening. You know.
All right. Big August wraps up with 3 great shows. The
Yeah.
Doobie Brothers, August 20th, 4-time Grammy winners. Again, kind of the soundtrack of many people's
Yeah.
growing up days.
You know, the Doobie Brothers, Michael McDonald is with them, which is a big deal. And they're playing a lot of large venues. I mean, last summer they played a lot of big amphitheaters and big markets. So this is certainly an underplay, you know, in our eyes, from our perspective, to see the Doobie Brothers in an atmosphere like that with Michael McDonald is a special opportunity for sure.
Then Lindsay Sterling is coming back. She's an electronic violinist.
Yeah.
I've heard she's fabulous.
She's great. She has lots of energy. She runs all over the stage like, you know, dancing ballerina. She's just dynamite. I mean, it's not, you know, people hear violin, they think like very calming, and no, she's like a rock star violin. It's good stuff. She's even got some electronic music out there with the violin. So she's great.
The last show that has been announced is a huge one. The Black Keys, 6-time Grammy winners. They're
Yep.
making their Lincoln debut.
Huge play for Pinewood Bowl. The Black Keys played large arenas just last year, I believe, if not the year before. Huge underplay for us to have. Very special opportunity. That show will sell out. It's almost sold out. You can still get tickets, but don't miss that one. That's a special place to see a show like that.
All right. Well, Tim, we look forward to having you
Oh, thank
on
you.
every month to run down the list of shows, and hopefully you can give us a few sneak peeks and some surprises along the
well,
way.
today was fun. Got to introduce a couple brand new titles there. So, yeah,
All right.
try to do that every time.
All right, Tim, great to have you, and welcome to Lincoln.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Now, as we go to break, we're going to be taking a look at some of the events coming up at the Lancaster Event Center. And then Jeff Mull from Visit Lincoln will be here to talk about all the great things coming up around Lincoln. Stay with us. Welcome back to Out and About. Jeff Mull joins us now from Visit Lincoln. Jeff, how's your spring and summer going so far?
Fast, busy.
Yeah.
Kind of antsy for it to get warm. It's been a very cold spring, so yeah, this is an exciting time. And you know, as we're sitting here today, this is the weekend before the Lincoln Marathon, and so that's always a sign of just a really, really busy spring and summer for the city of Lincoln.
All right, well, I'm going to make you happy today because we're going to start off talking about cars and hot rods.
That's
and
good.
I know you are a big fan of the Tire Rack SCCA Lincoln Pro Solo.
Big fan because our office years ago recruited this event into Lincoln. This was an event that was based down in Topeka, Kansas, and this is the Tire Rack SCCA Lincoln Pro Solo, and this is cone racing. This is cars lined up in 2 separate courses going in and out of cones. Fastest one that gets to the end is the one that wins, and it's just an amazing event. They set up a tent city out at Lincoln's west ramp of the Lincoln Air Park, and we're really, really excited about this year's event. And we always pray for good weather because it's
Yes.
definitely weather permitting kind of event.
Okay, and then the Speedway Motors Museum of American Speed is having a cool event featuring cars that were featured in Wheel Hub magazine.
Which is one of the largest industry trade show publications for the automotive enthusiast out there. The fact that this partnership with Wheel Hub has happened is a testament to everything that Speedway Motors does for our community. Lots of fun going on May 26th and 27th out at the museum.
Okay, if you like to just cruise around the lake, head out to Branched Oak for their Memorial Weekend cruise. They'll take a lot of different things: hot rods, rat rods, I don't even know what those are, muscle cars, classic cars, new cars, motorcycles, trucks, Jeeps, etc.
Or whatever Diane drives. You could be in this.
No,
No, okay.
no, I don't think a Prius would really excite people
I don't
too
know.
much.
That's kind of a hot rod of its own generation.
But Branched Oak is just right outside of Lincoln. It's one of the many state rec areas that we have here in the Lincoln area, and it's always fun to go out and you can get to a lake pretty quickly from downtown Lincoln.
Yeah, and cars with the lake environment is a lot of fun. Lots of great opportunities for people to hang out and enjoy. And it is car show season, so I appreciate starting the show with the automotive side of things.
If you want to participate in the Memorial Weekend cruise, remember you will need your park permit. So, all right. Another fun event at the Branched Oak Lake is at the Branched Oak Observatory. Cars and stars and tacos too.
Just southeast of the Branched Oak Lake that we're talking about earlier, Matt Anderson and his entire crew out at the Branched Oak Observatory are bringing in food trucks, great family-friendly activities, and of course, you know, as things get a little darker, this event starts at 6. When we get after about 9:30 or 10 o'clock, the night skies are going to light up, and this is a true kind of diamond in the rough opportunity to go out and be a part of something special at a very much expanding and new attraction for Lancaster County.
All right, and tacos too.
Yum,
There you
yum.
go. We want to remind you that another observatory, the Hyde Observatory, has free programs sundown to 11 p.m. The next scheduled dates are May 20th and 27th and June 2nd and 9th, and this is free.
Yeah, HydeObservatory.info. Keep in mind their monthly programming does change, so they'll have different things going on every month, and right out there, and we'll call it East Lincoln at Holmes Lake.
Yeah,
Great
it's on the
attraction.
south side of Holmes Lake. It's really a cool spot.
It's a lot of fun.
Okay, we are taping this on a Friday, and tomorrow the Haymarket Farmers Market kicks off, and it's the kind of the granddaddy of them all.
It is, you know, lots of great vegetables. I can smell the kolaches. I can smell the kettle corn right now. I can see the fresh flowers.
We got to stop talking about food. I'm getting hungry.
Oh, Diane, this is just a great place. People love to gather, and lots of great things going on 7th Street, wraps around by Iron Horse Park, over towards the rail yard. This keeps getting bigger every year, and it is a place to start your weekend on Saturday mornings.
I have my menu planned for tonight: kolaches and tacos. So I'm ready.
Let's see where else we get with this. This is going to be kind of fun.
The Sunday Farmers Market at College View is also a really fun place to go. Pick up some fresh produce and bring value to the economic fabric of our community and local farming.
Yeah, the economic fabric of our community is important in supporting our local farmers, but also local craft enthusiasts, people that put their wares together to sell at these markets is important. This event used to be down south of Highway 2 on the old Cheney Plaza area.
Yeah, it was kind of in a really small area.
Yeah, tough to get to, and this has really grown and expanded, and it's great to have the folks from Union College and the Seventh-day Adventist Church a part of the event.
Okay, and then a third farmers market will begin in June, the Thursday Farmers Market in Fallbrook. This is an every other Thursday market.
That's good, and I would encourage people to go out there on Thursdays, pick something out for your meal on Friday, and do kind of a farm fresh, you know, kind of meal setting for your Fridays.
Yeah, kolaches and tacos.
And produce. We got to get something good in there.
One of the most anticipated events of the summer is Jazz in June, and what a lineup they have. They just announced their lineup. We'll run through them real quick. June 6th, Alexis, I had this, okay, Array, Alexis Array is a great vocalist. Then Angela Hagenbach the next week, also a great vocalist. Metro Jazz is some of the best jazz artists from the area. And then, oh boy, June 27th, Zydeco is coming to Jazz in June. I love Zydeco.
Yes, the Zydeco experience is kind of a must-see kind of thing.
Terrence Simeon is a 3-time Grammy winner, and he's going to be at Jazz in June.
Playing in front of the Sheldon Sculpture Garden in Lincoln, Nebraska.
I don't think you'll need your blanket for this one. There's no way you can sit to Zydeco. You got to stand up and dance.
Wow, this is going to be a lot of fun. I want people to remember too that you can go early and get food and drinks from 5 to 7, and then from 7 to 9, once the performances begin, they'll still have the food and drinks. And they will have some great education and local outreach as well surrounding Jazz in June. Great destination event.
It's got a star on my calendar.
Which one? All of it?
Most,
or you're June 27th.
Mostly June 27th.
All right, hopefully
I'm
she'll...
You know, wear my beads and...
We'll have video.
All right, more music. At St. Paul's United Methodist, Nebraska Brass is doing Pops Goes the Brass, and it's some lighthearted, fun music from the Nebraska Brass.
Yeah, great educational opportunities and programs for young musicians to improve their musical skills. It's important to get them while they're young, get them interested in music.
Let's move on to theater now, one of my favorite topics, the musical Comedy Murders of 1940. We talked about it a little bit last month, but we want to remind you that that continues at the Playhouse through the 14th.
Yeah, the creative team in this production, not the creative team that puts it together, but as part of the play, has been a part of a recent Broadway flop, and when they're getting ready to produce this new production, everybody kind of gets pulled into a wildly comedic romp that is a loving satire on showbiz and old Hollywood melodramas.
Yes, it's going to be a lot of fun. Going next weekend. Can't wait. All right, the Playhouse is also doing its annual Penguin Project. The Penguin production is performed by children with special needs in partnership with peer mentors. It's really a very special thing they do at LCP, and this year it's Newsies Junior.
Yeah, together they learn a stronger, united, and creative movement that will change history, and it's important that we always think about, ways of bringing people together, and love the Penguin Project. This Newsies Junior production will be June 9th and 11th, and 16th through the 18th at the Community Playhouse.
Then Midsummer Night's Dream is coming to Wyuka. Flatwater Shakespeare is doing their summer show. Then there are free performances happening in the city parks from June 22nd through the 25th. So this is one of the Shakespeare comedies.
Goes back to 1595 or 1596, somewhere in that area. It's set in Athens and consists of several subplots that revolved around a marriage.
All right, then let's flash back to the 70s and 8-track machines.
Let's do this.
I can just hear that clunk they made every time they changed to a different track.
Yeah.
Ta-Da is doing the sounds of the 70s.
Chink, right? Chink. That sound or something like. This is gonna.
Some younger people watching this show will have no idea what we're talking about.
No, and see, I grew up watching Dad with 8-track tapes, and then the reel-to-reel music players. I mean, Jim Croce on the reel-to-reel in our house that meant Fridays were on. It was awesome. And so, yeah, music has changed, but just looking back on the Carpenters, Patti LaBelle, Barry Manilow, Marvin Gaye, the Doobie Brothers, the Bee Gees, Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Casey and the Sunshine Band, yes.
Ta-Da Theater, Bob Rook just continues to amaze with his productions.
Now, they suggest you wear your leisure suit, halter top, and platform shoes. I think some of those things are back in style now, aren't they?
Do you have any of that in the closet at home?
No. Oh, Lord, no.
No? Okay.
If I had platform shoes, I would fall off of them. So,
okay.
And as you crawl, I'm nursing a sore ankle as we speak.
All right.
So.
This should be a lot of fun. Great kind of themed event at the Ta-Da.
All right. A really fun night then at the Lead Center with I Mom So Hard. A couple of friends who've made it big.
Just talking about mom things. Just talking about the funny side and the serious side. And they've made a living. They've sold out 2 national tours, and now they're visiting Lincoln at the Lead Center. Tickets are still available. Get your tickets today.
And it's not women only. I'm sure men would appreciate this
Well, I'm
show
sure they
as
will.
well.
Yes.
Okay, it's time to get outside as the weather gets warm, and Brews at the Zoo, June 10th, is featuring the Mezcal Brothers.
Yeah, 21 and over event to enjoy a night of live music by local bands and visits from the animal ambassadors. You don't go to the zoo and not see the animals. Great, delicious craft beer from local producers, and just a great fundraising event for the Children's Zoo.
More animals then at Glacial Till Vineyard in Palmyra. The Tales and Trails Pet Festival is the Capital Humane Society's big fundraiser.
Yeah, live music, local food trucks, games for pets and people, contest, face painting, lots of great fun going on at Glacial Till. CapitalHumaneSociety.org for more information.
And the Star City Shootout is coming to the Roper Park Disc Golf Course. This is the 32nd annual. I remember when people just started getting into frisbees, we call them, or discs.
Yeah, frolf. This is disc golf called frolf. This will happen at the Roper Park for the Star City Shootout, and disc golf is growing in its popularity. The city's done a great job of maintaining some great parks to get people out enjoying golf. And if you don't like the little white ball in golf, I'm sure you can throw a frisbee and be a part of something neat.
I can't throw
You're
a
not a frisbee?
No.
Are you here? Do you try it down here?
I've
Nothing.
tried it all different ways. It never goes where I want it to.
Got a lot
so
of hook going on with your frisbee.
I don't know. Just can't do it.
All right, we'll leave you in the music and Broadway setting and keep you away from
if you want to
this.
see some people who really know how to throw a frisbee, the Star City Shootout is the place.
It's going to be neat.
Okay, enjoy some wildflowers at Pioneers Park Nature Center. It's the Wildflower Walkabout.
This is part of a statewide celebration of Nebraska Wildflower Week. Please check in 15 minutes prior to start time. This will take place at the Pioneers Park Nature Center, 10 to 11:30 a.m. on Friday, June 9th.
Okay, we've got a lot of events coming up for people who like to run. The Prairie to Prairie Run Bike Run is coming up May 21st.
Yeah, we're going to connect Spring Creek Prairie Audubon Center and their trails. They'll have a 15-mile bike ride and a 5K run at Pioneers Park Nature Center. The two will kind of come together for a great event. springcreekprairie.audubon.org for more
This
information.
is a fundraiser for the Prairie Corridor on Haynes Branch that is going to be running from Pioneers Park to the Spring Creek Prairie. So that's a big project, a multi-generational project that's now underway.
It is. Mayor Beitler was instrumental in making a lot of that happen, and we're excited about seeing that dream come to fruition.
Now you can run, hop, skip, or jump at the School Community Intervention and Prevention Program's annual run.
Yeah, head over to Antelope Park for that. There'll be family-friendly booths and activities sponsored by local nonprofits, prize drawings, and much, much more for the entire family.
And SKIP is a great organization that does great work in our community.
It does.
The 45th annual Havelock Charity Run is coming up in Havelock, and what makes this one really cool is if you have a team from 4 to 7 people,
Okay.
Pinnacle Bank will give your team $100 that you can use for a charity of your choice, but only if at least 4 members finish the course.
So you can bring 4 to 7 to the start line, but 4 of them got to finish.
4 of them have to finish, and then you get the $100 from Pinnacle Bank.
That's a really good deal. And
It
this will
is.
begin at Pinnacle Bank in Havelock. I think it takes you out onto 84th Street, and it's one of those big annual traditions in our community. But thanks to the folks at Pinnacle Bank for giving back and allowing people to gift to local charities.
Okay, we all know that bike safety is really critical for our community. There's an annual event that commemorates those folks who have lost their lives, unfortunately, on the bike. It's called the Ride of Silence.
Yeah, the sad thing is I think all of us can remember somebody in this community that's passed away just riding their bike and doing what they love. Third Wednesday of May at 7 p.m. locally around the world, cyclists take to the roads in a silent procession to honor those that have fallen on bikes. It's a free ride. We ask that cyclists observe no faster than 12 miles per hour on the course. And
I might be able to do that.
I think you can do that.
If you want more information, GreatPlainsBikeClub.org is the location. Another memorial event going on at South Point at Shields. This is Remembering Our Fallen, a photographic war memorial.
Yeah, that honors our country's military fallen from the global war on terror. Unlike brick and mortar memorials, Remembering Our Fallen is designed to travel and includes both military and personal photos from people's collections. This will be at Shields at South Point.
Okay, and then the Lincoln Salt Dogs baseball is getting ready to kick off at Haymarket Park. The Salt Dogs will be taking on the Gary South Shore Wheelcats for the first home series of the season.
Yeah, and that will continue through the summer. Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks, the Kansas City Monarchs, the Sioux Falls Canaries, the Lake Country Dockhounds, probably one of my favorite team names.
That must be a new one, yeah.
Charlie Meyer and his team have done a great job with Haymarket Park and the Salt Dogs, and it's just a great place to go with the family and enjoy some food and fun, and of course get to see Homer, the mascot of the Lincoln Salt Dogs.
And the first game is on a Friday, which means it's a Fireworks Friday.
Yay.
Yay. While we're talking about baseball, you have some baseball news in your own family.
Yeah, excited that our son's going to play college baseball after high school. He graduates this year, and he's going to head up to Morningside College in Sioux City. And yeah, appreciate you bringing that up. I just get chills thinking about it, and I think every parent hopes their kids get a chance to play at some level. But I think just to have that opportunity and give us something to go do.
You'll be making lots of trips. You'll get to know that route pretty well.
There's 2 good routes to get up there, and I know exactly how far it is from my house. So yeah, I've been thinking about it.
Well, congratulations
Thank you,
to
Diane.
Eli. And now for something completely different. We have 2 things about the Lincoln Stars, our hockey team. The first one is a correction. Jeff, why didn't you stop me? In our last show, we said the April 21st game against the Tri-City Storm was the final home game of the season. I should have said of the regular season because the Stars are doing really well in the playoffs. As of this taping, May 5th, the Stars are in the Western Conference Finals. At least one of those games is at the Ice Box. And then it's the Clark Cup Finals.
Clark Cup Final. The Stars have been a great, just integral sports fabric in our community. And I remember going to a lot of great Clark Cup Final games at the Ice Box with my parents and my wife. And it's just a great opportunity to get back to the Ice Box. I mean, they're playing the Fargo Force for this Western Conference Championship. They lost the first game last night up in Fargo. They're going to be bringing everything back home coming up soon. So go over to LincolnStars.com. Tickets are still available. Please pack the Ice Box and give these high school kids competing at a high level the best opportunity to win.
Well, I've decided that I need a hockey consultant, and so I'm going to give John Taylor from City Communications a call. His team won the Lincoln Senior League Hockey Championships.
Taylor's a hockey player?
Yeah.
Is he rough or is
He's a champion.
Is he a defenseman? Is he on the offensive side?
I'm not sure.
Does he go high with the stick? Does he
I'm
slash?
just glad he showed up at work the next day after playing hockey. But
I'll have to tell him congratulations.
yeah, no one called me about this. I figured that out all by myself when I was seeing the Stars are still in the paper, and I'm like, oops, what have I done?
Yeah, we did talk about that final home game, but we didn't know that they were going to make it into the playoffs.
Okay, well, the second part of our Now for Something Completely Different segment is Beat Down at the Box. Instead of hockey, you're going to find live professional boxing and kickboxing at the Ice Box.
Yeah, not a lot of people realize when the hockey season's over with, the water and the ice all comes out of the Ice Box and it goes back to a hard court arena of sorts to be able to do kickboxing and some boxing. Should be a lot of fun. Saturday, June 3rd, doors open at 6, event at 7.
I hope most people realize that this boxing and kickboxing is not happening on ice.
I was just confirming it to make sure you weren't confused that we were fighting on ice.
It would be weirdly entertaining and disturbing all at the same time.
We might have a new sport.
There we go. Ice boxing.
Ice boxing. Give me that. That was good right there. It just happened.
Thankfully, that's all for this edition of Out and About. I want to again thank Tim and Jeff for joining me. As we close, I invite you to stay tuned. We're going to be running a list of what's happening at some of our great museums and galleries. And then after the show, we're going to be running a complete list of events. So you can get out your pencil and make some notes on what you want to go to this summer. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you out and about.